Hi everyone, it's Lawrence here, back on the Bronies UK channel. Well, it's been a while since I've uploaded a video. You probably did see, those of you who tuned in on Friday night to our live stream, which is basically sort of the pre-Griffith Isles 2025 live stream for Sam and I. As we were all there, so I just thought that I kind of want to do a video talking a bit about you know, how I'm still feeling as a member of the Brony community, despite the fact that the franchise is on hold at the moment. So we don't know what's happening in terms of Gen 6, or, you know, the rumours about potentially filling in the big gap at the end of Gen 4, which I personally would like. If Hasbro could do it right, and I think that other fans would like it. And when it comes to G5, I don't dislike G5. There are some things I quite liked about it. Like, I did get to like most of the characters, and I did like some of the storylines, but I can see ultimately kind of why it failed. But yeah, as I say, I don't think G5 was bad. But you know, as the points John made points in his video that they set certain storylines up to have certain characters from Gen 4 appear. Like we know Twilight was potentially supposed to appear, but due to licensing they obviously had to change that, despite that she did appear for those couple of seconds as a hologram, the message to the new main characters, to give them that message. But yeah, and of course what they did with Spike, say, we know that it is officially meant to be the Spike from Gen 4, just what they did with him, because he didn't look, well, obviously he wouldn't be a baby anymore, but he didn't look anything like the way he did at the end of Gen 4, the end of Season 9 Gen 4 either. But anyways, yes, so even though at the moment we're kind of not getting anything new, I'm still to catch up on Tell Your Tale, you know, the Netflix web, the web 2D Gen 5 series. I'm still to catch up on quite a bit of that, actually. But yeah, nonetheless, I think it's fairly obvious to say that despite that everything's on hold with the franchise at the moment, that the fandom and the love is all still there. I mean, you know, as we know, I think, yeah, all 4 conventions here in the UK. So far I've attended UK PonyCon 5 times now, and this time will be my first and Sam's first time to Griffith Isles as well. We've never been before, but we're very much looking forward to it. I'm really excited, because the experience I've had at PonyCon, UK PonyCon, is that I've always felt so comfortable. I felt comfortable at any convention I've been to, but what I think is unique about UK PonyCon and, you know, experience so far was with an MLP themed convention, is it's, you know, for all the fans, and there's, you know, always people to talk to, and, you know, it's just, it feels so, it's such a relaxed environment, and you know, you can really, you know, you really get a sense of what it's like to be a member of this fandom in an environment like UK PonyCon, and, you know, probably sure the other conventions as well. I mean, you know, like they do the things like the Britannia Buddies, you know, the gathering groups, to other activities, and we have the musical events, and you can go off, and there's merchandise to buy. Of course, last year at PonyCon we had Sam and I also went to the afternoon tea, which was that was our first time attending that event at PonyCon. But yes, and we met some really great people there. So we actually sat at our table. We sat from a few people. We sat with a few people from abroad who'd come from abroad. You know, it's very interesting to meet Bronies, you know, from Bronies and MLP fans from, you know, different countries, because, you know, I think, you know, what that gives everyone the sense of is you can come different, to say, you know, we're all different, but, you know, we do all have this interest in common, and you know, and it's great for us all to come together to share our experiences, and to you know, people that you know, a group of people that we can be generally open with about, you know, our passion for this franchise. And yeah, despite the fact that, you know, we kind of are, you know, despite the fact that the series and the franchise is on hold at the moment, I haven't really noticed you know, a particular decline in the support for it, through all, you know, through, particularly through the Brony communities, like you know, UK PonyCon. It was a sold out event last year. I know that a big part of that was due to the very late announcement of Ashley Ball as a guest, and thankfully I did get to meet her. And of course, now I've met voice of One and Only Rainbow Dash and Applejack, and the other guests, the other voice actors that I've met. Say also from G5. I met AJ Bridell last year, and she was lovely. She was very sweet, and you know, just the commitment that I put into these conventions. It really is, you know, it really pays off, and I can say, you know, I know that with UK PonyCon, and I'm sure that with Griffin Isles, and with another one, say if it be the Festival of Friendship, I know we have looked into going to there before, but it is a bit out of our way, but you know, who knows what the future holds. And so yeah, so you know, I think it's you know, obviously with the convention, it is for fans of all the generations, and in our case, like for the Bronies, you know, a lot of quite a few of us, I have noticed, don't have a lot of interest in the previous generations prior to Friendship is Magic. Some do, and that's fine. Personally, I don't. I have tried to watch a bit of Gen 1 and bits and bobs of Gen 2 and 3, but I can't identify with it. I say, well, it was Gen 4, preferably the Gen 4 theatrical movie that got me into the franchise. And say, but you know, I have nothing against anyone who, you know, who likes the, you know, the generations that came before it, because it is a classic. But I say, it is just great to talk to people, and to attend panels, you know, so we can learn about the history and all the creations of the show, and how the different generations were developed, and how certain storylines, and even some of the spoofs, even like I think a lot of the MLP spoofs, like they've done Harry Potter reenacted by ponies that I've seen on YouTube. I've seen ponies reenact Lord of the Rings scene. I think I know there's Star Wars ones. I think they're funny. You know, just seeing how, you know, just how you know, how you can get a sense for how passionate some people are. Now I know that there's spoof content that's inappropriate, you know, created, you know, to, you know, basically to poke fun of us, because unfortunately there are I know there are people who, you know, who disapprove of, you know, grown men particularly being passionate about this particular franchise. But you know, the thing is, we can't please everyone. Nothing can be everybody's cup of tea. And you know, and I honestly, you know, I am so glad now that I did become a proud member of this fan base, because I've met the most amazing people. I've made many friends. I've had the opportunity to go to conventions, because I know that I have talked about this before, like about 2 years, well, just over 2 years ago now. I think it was after UK PonyCon 2023 that I uploaded a video about my experience as a Brony on the autistic spectrum, and that I had said that when I first heard about the Brony fandom here in the UK, when it was featured on the BBC, I did kind of think it was a bit odd. Not necessarily that any people are odd, because but just the fact that people, I think it was the fact that people were buying seriously expensive merchandise for themselves. But no, honestly, once I checked this franchise out and started to get into it, any thoughts I may have had against anyone, well, any odd thoughts I might have had, no thoughts against anybody, but any thoughts that I had that it might be odd, or those thoughts are completely gone, because as you can clearly see now, I have a huge MLP collection, and that's not all. Yeah, you can see a lot up there, and there's more in other rooms as well. I've got plushes, figures, books. I've got bits of everything, really. Yeah, so I can say, it'd be interesting to see what plans to happen with the franchise in the future. Like, if they're going to go ahead with G6, it would be interested to see where it's going to go. If they're going to possibly thinking about revisiting G4, which I know has been a rumour, provided they do it right and they tell the story to maybe fill in that big gap at the end of season 9, about how, about some of the things that happened in between the final showdown and Twilight becoming the ruler of Equestria. That would be very interesting to see. But say, as long as they get it right, and they don't be careless with it or rush it or don't properly develop it, because in cases where that doesn't happen and they think, oh well, it's MLP, it's returned to Gen 4, we'll just get it out as quickly as possible, which I hope they don't do, because that, in those cases, those are where a lot of things I think fail with the big franchises today. So yeah, but anyways, yeah, I still, I know, just to say, I'm so glad that there is still this huge support, this huge support, and still this huge level of love and respect for the Bronies and for UK and for MLP fandom in general. So so I'd like to say, yeah, thanks all for watching, and say that I will be at Griffin Isles next week. Well, I'll be travelling down on Friday, and to be arriving at the Pendulum Hotel, myself and Sam, and we will be there for the Saturday and Sunday. So if you do see us, please come up and say hi. It'd be great to see you. Okay, well, thanks all for watching. I will see you soon. Bye.